We said chips and SaaS, but let's go from SaaS to chips. Marvell had a very good quarter. And by the way, Marvell is all about data-centric chips for the data center, and the cloud and the edge have done a really good pivot here. I think the big highlight here is revenue is up 48%, which is phenomenal. Data center was 40% of their revenue. That to me clearly shows this 4-year turnaround here where they were primarily consumer, right? Consumer and a little bit of storage. And through acquisitions, through divestitures, they're at this position here. Biggest thing, which is in here, the breakout, they broke out their business. And Daniel, you and I both know that is a sign of confidence, right? We talked about it with Qualcomm, and we talked about it, we're going to talk about it here with Marvell. Their new breakouts are data center, carrier infrastructure, enterprise networking, consumer, auto, and industrial. And, you know, what did we see there? Well, we saw what we expected, that consumer as a percentage is down. In 2019, it was 37%, and now it's 16%. Other big shifts, data center was 27%, now it's 40%. So essentially, these breakouts are just another affirmation that the strategy is working. And I also think providing confidence to consumers, because more information is always better for investors.
Yeah, it was a very solid result. 48% revenue on a year. You're seeing a lot of the shift you mentioned away from consumer. The data center is now tapping into about 40%. So the company's definitely tapping into the areas of growth that the market is excited about that are going to continue to scale. You know, you look at, and they didn't really mention this specifically, but the company's got a really interesting foothold into 5G. It's got, strength in data center, infrastructure, networking, and, in automotive. These are a bunch of categories, these are segments that the biggest tech companies in the world want to be a part of. And Marvell has earned a very strong multiple on its earnings because people see it executing. Matt Murphy has done a very good job since he's come in, his new leadership team, people he's added, the acquisitions that have been made, whether that's been, Inphi, I mean, obviously Cavium kind of spurned it all. And the company's continuing to make moves, right? And Innovium this quarter, you and I had the chance to, talk to Chris Koopmans and other executives from their team about the specifics of that deal. Basically broke the story, right? Didn't we? Seeing that they're continuing to identify. What I like about their strategy, Pat, is they kind of seem to find these little spaces between, and they really lean into it. I mean, we have heard a lot from NVIDIA about the DPU, but Marvell was really the company that, started breaking this into the market. And you know what? NVIDIA just, put its superpower behind it and watch it go. But, this whole idea of being able to break out your networking and storage and give more processing power to the core CPUs to do what they're best at doing, this is a big deal as we're trying to scale up the throughput and scale up the ability to support workloads in the growing data ecosystem. So that's what I like about Marvell. The numbers are good, but what I really like about the company is they're finding spaces where their business isn't under a ton of duress. They're seen as a company that really offers value in these white spaces. And there's a lot to like about that because, it's just a situation where growth is going to be there because they are where they're needed. And they're side by side with some of these big names, not going head to head all the time, which is a really good thing. Good quarter, Marvell. Excited to continue to watch the company grow. I think the market has definitely recognized it, but I think there's still potential.
Yeah, there is. It's so sticky, with the two acquisitions they made, and they have a lot of IP that is you can't just trade out like you can a CPU.